Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Watch Fresh Podcast here on Watch Fresh Games, episode 72. I'm your host, the enlightened and excited ADV. Joining me is the Indie Insider, Mr. Dan Murphy.
Morning, guys.
And the PC muscle race himself, the Gunner Hunter. Of course, I have to call him that, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Wait, guys. Oh.
wait. What was that nickname for Dan again? Because I like that.
The Indie Insider.
I like that. The Indie Insider. The Indie Insider. You have to say it right, or it sounds like Indian cider.
Yes, that's right.
Definitely not that.
You have to enunciate certain things.
our good friend David Laxby on Nintendo Power Block. He is the devastating dungeoneer. Because he's from another dungeon. No, it's from Zelda dungeon, and I'll be like that. And and thank you, LeRon, for doing it, coming up with names for Crossroads and stuff. You're just like, I'm gonna take his idea. No, don't worry about it. Like, go with it.
I thought that was the format. I'm like, we were the newer show at the time, and I was like, looks like this is the format, so I don't want to break tradition from it. So I just kind of rolled with it. And the cool thing is, like, we don't always have the same name week to week.
Yes.
Like last week was the place. This week we were talking about PS5 stuff and like that, and I'm the only one in the Crossroads crew right now that has a PS5. So I was the dual shocker with dual senses.
Yes.
But I threw my hat into the ring for the PlayStation 5 for about 20 minutes. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna wait till January.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like, I was on before I officially got my PS5. I was on Walmart.com's thing for the entire day. So because they had waves, they had a 9 a.m. wave, they had a 12 noon wave, a 3 p.m., a 6 p.m., and a 9 p.m. wave. Where they were like, we have restocks ordered now. I did 4 out of the 5 waves, and I got fed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now they're announcing that people probably won't be able to get one until next year.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Sony. I need to see all the details, but someone just put out that Sony is working their hardest to make sure that there's allocations going into Christmas. So probably somewhere around mid-December we'll get a notification about allocations, and they said definitely there will be allocations once you get right past New Year's. So they're trying to hit the Christmas numbers on this.
I know I told Jesse and Lorana, and then I probably told you guys that I'm skipping it. I decided not to go ahead and do for a December, trying to look for it. I'm just going to wait till January or February. So I'm still doing Cyberpunk for Xbox One.
Speaking of Cyberpunk, I'm hyping the CD Projekt Red right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to CD Projekt Red. Yeah, me and Dan was actually talking about it, and we'll get into the topic, everybody. That we probably, I think that at the Game Awards they'll probably announce DLC, like expansion stuff for Cyberpunk on Thursday, at the Game Awards. So it'll be interesting to see what is, and I think Halo Infinite is probably going to be announced more. I think we'll see some more stuff at that. But for trailers and everything, I don't know. I agree with you, Dan. We were speaking about Nintendo not really having anything shown there. It may be indies a lot, but I think Nintendo related first party, I don't think there's going to be much there.
We're not going to see anything first party related unless if we see a new system from Nintendo. Like, that's what it is.
Right, because it'll besides Super Mario 3D World, plus Bowser's Fury and Bravely Default 2, that is the only 2 leading games that we know for next year at this time from first party. I don't know what's dropping in January.
Nothing really, right?
I don't think so. Mm-mm. If anything drops for January, it's going to be indie or it's going to be third party and stuff. I know the Medium is leading for me. So I'll probably purchase the medium for Series X, but I won't be able to play it till I get the system. But I think that's the leading game for me for January of 2005. Miles Morales, I think I'm gonna wait for it till I get my PS5. Because I didn't have I have Amazing Spider-Man on PS4. That's my Thanksgiving game that I want to be playing, trying to jump into because I've never beaten it
You
or
know,
anything.
by the way, as the PlayStation guy here and one of the hosts for Crossroads, I'm a little peeved with Sony right now, because a lot of their terminology before the PS5 came out was that certain games were just going to be PS5 exclusives, like Miles Morales, for example, and
Mhm.
the new Horizon game. Then as the system got closer to launching, I started seeing that they had that there's PS4 versions announced too. And even though I'm not upset, like, look, I understand, like, they probably shifted gears on this because they realized that they weren't going to be able to make allocations of the PlayStation systems the way they wanted to. So that may be the reason for the shift. But it kind of peeved me that their languaging before, like, the system came out, was that certain games are going to be exclusive to just the PS5 console, and now it's like, yeah, well, yeah, some of these games are going to be on PS4. Like, Sackboy, for example. Like, I can cheat right now and buy Sackboy for PS4 because I can't find it anywhere for PS5, and I can get the free upgrade.
Wait, you can't find games for PlayStation 5 either?
Some of the stores I've been going to, like Best Buy, doesn't have Sackboy's Adventure on PS5. And Target doesn't have anything, honestly. Target has Call of Duty and a couple other games. I told myself I'm not getting Call of Duty for
So
PS5. I'm getting it for PC.
so my target, I seen Call of Duty and Valhalla. I see.
Yeah,
Other
Valhalla's there
than
too.
it may Miles Morales may be there. Other than that, I just see like the control, like the accessories. That's all I
Oh,
seen
there's no
for.
the two targets I'm at right now. In my city. Like, there's no accessories right now. Like, actually, I take that back. One location had controllers, the other location had nothing. And I just happened to slide into Best Buy yesterday, and Best Buy just got a giant restock of freaking the DualSense controllers. So I grabbed one. So that's where you saw my picture last night on Twitter. Like, I
This
bought.
is the two double
I bought
ones.
I bought the base station and an extra controller yesterday. So right now I'm kitted out as far as, like, accessories.
Is the station is that the charger station for
Yeah,
them?
it's
Okay,
the official Sony one. Yeah, because
I didn't know they was doing one.
oh
Uh,
yeah, they've been doing one since PS4. Because I don't trust third party ones because
yeah.
they'll either burn up your controllers, or they'll short out in the wall outlet. So I
Yes.
don't trust third party chargers on that one.
Yes. And me and Dan has been playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity because I don't
How
want to
is it?
introduce it.
How is it?
It is amazing.
I would have bought it yesterday if Best Buy had any copies. And I don't want to buy a digital. I want Legend of Zelda games. I want physical.
I don't I know I went to my Target to get it. I knew because my Best Buy don't open up until 10. They weren't open up till 11, but then I'm like sometimes they don't have their games out, so I waited to 10 so they could get their stuff together. But yeah, this me and Dan was talking about the frame rate drops, and we're both playing it on dock, not in handheld mode.
Mm.
And I was explaining to him that in a lot of warrior games, if this is your first one, that genre has always had drops with the frame rate. It goes back to being normal and stuff, but the drops are when you're doing like some of the special moves and stuff. It's not when you're
Let
actually
me
like,
let me say let me say this. In this day and age, okay, back when Dynasty Warriors was fresh on PS2 and stuff, yeah, frame rate drops, I get that. We now have some super powerful consoles, and I include the Switch in this because the Switch's Tegra chip is nice. There should be no excuse for ridiculous frame rate drops. On most any games, like, capped it. Because I'm hearing, like, I need to look at the tech later, but I'm hearing that the game is already capped at 30 frames. I think so. Don't quote me on that. I have
it's
to.
at third.
It's at 30 frames.
Yeah.
So, in the demo, I kid you not, I think I was seeing it drop to like 12 frames on certain things, and that's what annoyed me with it. I was like, I can't play this anymore. I want to see more of it because I hear it's a deep demo. Like you get a lot of gameplay out of that demo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was telling Ed, like,
But
this is my first Warriors game, right? Um, and I've frame rate drops don't usually bother me, but the first map in Age of Calamity is so big, and like you were saying, Laurent, I mean, it was dropping to a point where it was like I was getting kind of annoyed. But once I got through that first map,
Uh-huh.
I haven't had any issues since.
Okay,
Um,
because my whole thing was, it got to the point where I was like, okay, whose ass do I have to kick for this?
and that's what I'm saying though. Like, if we're gonna drop this low, they should have figured out some sort of patch where like not all the enemies are on the map at the same time that are
Mm-hmm.
out of
Mm-hmm.
distance, and then we could take away these frame rate drops and have some smooth gameplay. Because even in the first map, it's not even like I'm battling, like I'm running and
Yeah.
having frame rate drops because enemies are spawning in the distance. But I've heard that this is happening on big maps, so I'm not too far into the game. I think I've played on four four or three different maps that are part of the main game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've only had issues on that one, but I heard it does drop with these bigger ones. So maybe for someone like you, LeRon, hold off until the patch.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, yeah,
it's
because
a
I want.
fantastic game when you can play it.
Yeah, here's my only worry. I don't want to, because this is my problem with Switch games. Like, Switch games notoriously never drop in price, and I don't want to wind up picking this game up a year or two later and it's still $60 because that really bothers me. Like,
Oh, it
that's kind
will.
of it's kind of why I try to jump on Switch games I know I want right when they hit, because
Mm-hmm.
Astral Chain, I bought that immediately when it dropped.
Same.
Hmm.
Because like I said, it's gonna irk me. Like I was in Best Buy the other day and it was $55. So whoa, $5, $5 cheaper. Like, it's still,
And
I buy my games at Walmart. They're always $50.
I need to. Okay, you know what? I feel like walking to Walmart. I'm just gonna catch the coronavirus. Just looking at the doors walking in. I feel like I'm gonna catch COVID. So I.
Just put on a hazmat suit.
the
You're
shade,
good.
the shade, but the truth, the shade, but the truth.
There's a
I like
reason.
that.
There's a reason why there's a People of Walmart website that's been going strong for like five plus years now.
But
Walmart was a meme before memes existed.
oh yeah. But everybody, yes, it's a lot that's going on. Do check out Crossroads, the guys that they talk about PlayStation 5. Check out Arsenal X this week as they guys talk about the Series X. Check out Nintendo Power Block. We run do sale numbers and the beautiful Animal Crossing fan fiction trailer. Oh, I need that TV series. I actually told Celeste, I'm like, I would love for you to narrate it. She thought she had to narrate it. We're doing the sounds. I'm like, no, you have a great. Celeste has a great narrating voice to make things calm and easy. I'm just like, I need you to do like an audiobook or something. Like I would listen to this all day. Like, and we talked about some other things. So do check that out, everybody. But we're going to get into this Game Awards nominations discussion because we have we have opinions.
Let's just say we got into some fights in the chat the last couple of days about this. I mean, I haven't seen that many people on the Boss Rush chat jump in a long time about something.
Offer something that a certain person has mentioned. I will leave it at that. You probably can figure out who and what. Let that be what it needs to be. That's the situation that is at hand. so, uh,
Oh,
but
by the way, Ed, Celeste thanks you. She's in the chat right now joining us.
uh, so that's hope you're having a great Saturday and everything. And yes, the molasses cookies pictures that you show, mwah,
Hmm.
that and thank you for sharing that recipe. And you guys, just to let you know that if you check out any of our podcasts and stuff into our chats, if you guys want to know what you guys are doing with Snack Tendo, or if you got recipes and stuff that you think we here at Boss Rush would love to try out and do, share with us. We care about gaming, but we also care about eating and snacking in the right way. But we're going to be talking about some of these nominations. Some of them we decided to hold off, but we'll explain why we did it. Then we're going to get into the main talk. So we're going to just mention a little bit of the topics that the nominations like community support. They kind of like have a list of games: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Valorant. Any thoughts about community support, you guys? Like real quick.
Um, you know what? I feel like okay, I like the idea of the category, but I feel like it did not need to be a category because, in all honesty, community support, like basically, it says that these are developers that listen to the feedback from their from the fans and the user base and stuff like that. It's great, but at the same time, it's like, do y'all need an award for that? That's like having a participation trophy, where that like no matter what, like you weren't the fastest, but you weren't the slowest either. Here's a trophy.
Right. Any thoughts, Dan, or anything?
I mean, I'm kind of with LeRon on that. It's like, here you go. We're gonna give you an award for making a game. Like,
I'm just gonna say this because I lost track of how many categories there are. I know this is basically them just trying to pad the show just to make it run a certain length of time. I get that, but in all seriousness, some of these categories, ugh,
they're a little redundant.
they are like
Yeah.
okay, like for example, when we talk about the indie games, the best indie game, like it needs to be noted that quite a few of these indie games also show up in the best debut game category. So it's like, what was the point?
At the Game Awards, they do that for a lot of these games
Yeah, I
Well,
and
know.
stuff.
best indie game does deserve a category for
Oh no
itself,
no no!
but
I didn't. Oh no, I wasn't saying that. I was more. I'm more on the best debut game.
yeah.
I feel like that's also like a dull category to even think about having. But that's just me.
Well, it should be like best new IP, but
Now,
yeah.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
Yes.
that's a good one. Yeah. I do like the Games for Impact one because that's the one thing I will say the Game Awards has gotten right since they introduced it, because I don't think it was in the very first one that was Samuel L. Jackson Games for Impact, that
Mhm.
category. But I want to say, since they've introduced it, like they've helped a lot of people, they've helped a lot of developers and publishers sell games, because like it's one of those things, like like, hey, this game got an award, did I miss something good? And people go
Mhm.
back and buy it. I can't remember the one indie game. I want to say it was Inside or something like that. Um,
We have Inside on Xbox and PS4, and yeah,
yeah, it came out on PC too, because my
yes,
roommate, when
and Switch.
he saw that, he was like, hey, I just bought that game and it's good. But it was after he saw the Game Awards.
Yeah, I knew about Inside because they showed it at, I think, a Microsoft's conference for one of the E3s when it came out, but I didn't know the release date for it. But they dropped it for Games with Gold, so I got a free there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jesse have thoughts about that game. But best multiplayer: Animal Crossing, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, and Valorant. If I had to say anything about this, I think Animal Crossing: New Horizon should win it. I know
Whoa,
Among
whoa, whoa!
Us.
Hold on. Multiplayer? You think Animal Crossing should win?
Animal Crossing is a
For
multiplayer game?
That is the most asinine. Like, they shouldn't even be thrown in a
Yeah,
multiplayer.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes
because of the visiting town thing
that's
with
that's
that.
that's the only multiplayer aspect of the game. It's not like
And it's not even good multiplayer.
Well,
thanks,
but
thanks, Dan.
I,
I'm
I
glad a Nintendo person is helping me out on this one, because I
well,
because
this is
I always
this
I
is
always feel like all these shows is LeRon just destroys Nintendo, and I'm not that guy, because I love my Nintendo Switch, even though
this
my Nintendo Switch hates me right now since the PS5 came in the house. But
fine.
We're going to get into how much I love Animal Crossing, but I am not going to give it an
for
award for
multiplayer,
something it doesn't
Well,
deserve. It doesn't
yeah,
even
because
deserve to be nominated for
for
multiplayer.
well,
exactly, yeah.
like I could understand it. Okay, so if it doesn't win multiplayer, I would give it to Call of Duty Warzone because they have been doing a great job with their multiplayer with it. Among Us and Fall Guys, I know Among Us is popular and Fall Guys is somewhat popular. It was a big jump. Valorant, I really don't know much of. I think Animal Crossing, it was at a time when Corona hit us and we was like kind of stuck in. That was a lot of stuff that people were playing
Can,
for a multiplayer game,
can I ask?
visiting towns and stuff like that. So that's why I went. I
But
would
what?
have.
Okay. So talk to me, the non Animal Crossing guy, because what exactly do you do when you visit someone's island?
You could get like extra fruit, buy extra clothes, like get things that your
Do
island doesn't do.
you do
so
you,
so
do
there's
you do
so
you interact with the other person that owns the island live?
Yeah,
yeah, so like
You can. Okay.
so
yeah.
so what it is like you're just on somebody else's island. You can
Hmm.
do everything that you do on your island on somebody else's. So you can go and like go fishing and catch their bugs or whatever. But it's the same thing that's on your island. Um, so I don't know, like back when we were in quarantine and a lot of people were playing Animal Crossing, we did like trade swaps. So like people could take something and put it back and you'd have it in your catalog. But as far as like a multiplayer game goes, it's just
It doesn't. It doesn't.
not.
It doesn't come
It's
off. It
like
doesn't come off as multiplayer to me.
But
Not in that aspect.
I think this is the thing when we hear multiplayer. For some people, they think first person shooters because they just mentioned multiplayer. For
Multi.
some people who
no,
hear multiplayer,
I think of a game that uses multiple players.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like
Monster Hunter World is a multiplayer game.
right.
but in all honesty, people might see that as a co-op game because you are invited.
There's no co-op category though.
That's the thing
There's
about
no co-op category in the Game Awards. So I feel
that.
like what
And that's probably why they probably did co-op and multiplayer
here's
altogether.
here's my thought. Here's my thoughts. Given that Animal Crossing shows up in so many categories, it probably means that Animal Crossing probably is not getting Game of the Year. That's what I'm going to say because they put in a category it shouldn't be in. Best multiplayer? I don't get that. Like it's in Best Family though, and I get that.
Well, but this is the thing about it, and that when we mentioned during our talk, seeing our different timelines and stuff, it's just that when people were posting that their gates were open, people were going to it. So I think the multiplayer aspect of it is people going in, doing what they need to do, and then being able to leave. I'm not saying multiplayer as in you're in an arena kind of sense or anything. It's just that you have more people coming in to do something, and so
This is confusing because in all honesty, it sounds like the Game Awards is trying to redefine what multiplayer means.
right, because the thing, even with Among Us, that's not a really kind of multiplayer thing aspect where I mean
you have to
Hold
have
on.
multiple
What's
yes,
people
I'm talking to multiplayer as in like doing something like Monster Hunter or doing something like Call of Duty. I'm saying that it's that kind of that kind
You
of
know what? You know what? Here's what they should have done. What was that? What's that Super Mario game that's out right now that you play with 64?
Mario 35.
that Super
Yes,
Mario 35.
that game should be on there instead of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I agree.
Or
I agree.
I mean, there's so many we can
Which by the way, that brings up something, and we'll games that are on this list that should not be on this list because they have barely been out. Like for example,
Miles Morales.
I love Miles Morales. Miles Morales just came out it came out a week and a half ago.
But LeBron, then I put in the chat that I'm like they did the same thing to Tetris Effect, and Tetris Effect had only been out for 2 weeks on PS4.
Oh, I know.
So I'm like,
I know.
why
We've
is it
had
not there?
we've had multiple conversations about this. And you know what? Here's what they should have done. If they need to put a game, if they need to put a game like Miles Morales in there, you know what they should have done is they should have made a best launch games category. It's only something that happens once every blue moon. So that makes the category feel more, it feels more like a marquee category
Mhm.
versus throwing a game that's only been out and people, a lot of people haven't even played Miles Morales. That's the crazy part.
Exactly.
A lot of people haven't even played Miles Morales.
And
If I didn't have access to a PS5 when I did, I wouldn't be playing it right now.
and they did the same thing to Death Stranding, and everybody
Oh
feel like
no,
the
they
reason
did Death Stranding because Jeff Keighley likes to like hob on Kojima's knob. That's why.
right, and that's what I was about to say. You know, that was what I was about to say because I'm just like, hold on, Death Stranding just came out. Not many people played it. I know some people love it, some people don't like it or don't understand it. Why is it on the list? Like it's very weird.
And you know what? That's the other thing I need to say about the Game Awards, and I think that's kind of the reason why I do not like the Game Awards to a certain extent. I pay attention to the Game Awards, but it. First of all, you got people telling me how I should play games. That's the one thing I already. That's honestly the main reason why I don't like any type of these award shows because it's like you have people telling you what you should be getting into, what you should be listening to, what you should be watching, what you should be, stuff like that. I don't like that idea. But the main thing that bothers me about the Game Awards is that you can look at these and you can tell that Jeff Keighley has his hands all over like what games show up where. And it's like, dude, like you produced the show, you put the show together and everything. You cannot do anything else at that point. And this is the same problem I have with like journalists like Jason Schreier and stuff like that, because Jeff Keighley started off as a games journalist. You can write about a topic, you can talk about a topic, but you need to be as neutral as possible in the topics you
Hmm.
talk about, because ultimately it's going to be one of those sink or swim moments for you. You're either going to sound like you're the number one fan, or you're going to sound like you're the number one enemy, and you have to be as unobjective as possible in this stuff. So there we go. That's my piece on that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into best sim, best strategy. Crusaders King the Third, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, XCOM Chimera Squad. I would give this to Gear Tactics if I had to. If I had to choose, I would give it to Gear Tactics.
By the way,
I
I
heard
think
a
Among
lot of
Us is
great.
going to win multiplayer.
Wait, who? Among Us? Yeah, I think Among Us is. It's either going to be Among Us or Fall Guys.
I didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to talk about the
Oh,
multiplayer, so I wanted to throw that in. I think Among Us
sorry,
is going
Dan.
to win.
I'm about to try. I'm trying. Sorry, our sorry tangents are getting. I'm just trying to produce.
Oh yeah, yeah. Welcome to the LeRon and Ed show.
Hi, Dan. We're gonna do part two to late night Russell's games. I told because I told this to Jesse because if this didn't happen, we were gonna bring topics to discuss, and it was gonna be topic takeout. Um, like we was all doing us like kind of Thanksgiving kind of thing. But the Game Awards happened. We had a discussion. I wrote with that. But yeah, for this best sim strategy, I would give it to Gears Tactics. Microsoft Flight Simulator, I haven't played, but it has gotten a lot of love, and it's the kind of review wise the leading game on PC. So
That's the reason why I can't. That's the reason why I can't give it to like best sim and strategy, because right now it's only available to a lot of PC players. Is it yet to come out on Xbox Series X
next year,
next year? See, I can't give it to you. I can't give that one to them. It's a nice game. I have not downloaded the game yet because I don't like the idea that it takes up 170 gigs of space on my SSD.
Call of Duty Warzone says hi.
That's
Yeah,
I'll
out
play
of
that
these
one.
games, out of these games, though, really the only one that I've heard multiple people talking about is the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Mhm.
The other ones, it just seems like a lot of lukewarm reactions to it. So, I think that'll probably take this one.
Yeah, as
Well,
much
well,
as
yeah,
much as as much as the XCOM series is beloved, I haven't heard enough people talk about Chimera Squad, and
yeah.
and I do have Gears Tactics from Game Pass, but I have yet to start it.
I need to buy. I don't know if they did physical for Xbox, but I might do it digitally if it's on sale for Black Friday next week.
By the way, speaking of Black Friday sales, the PlayStation Store start their early Black Friday sale, and I think I'm gonna jump on that Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like $20 online at places right now too. Check
Wait, Ghost of Tsushima?
yeah,
All
I'll
right,
send you a link. I think there was
okay.
one of my friends just bought it for $20 online, I think at Walmart.
Damn. Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? We keep talking about this damn Walmart place. Okay.
hey, hey,
I
yeah,
don't
they're
do
right.
anything else at Walmart except buy video games because they're always cheaper.
Yeah. Okay.
Dan,
Yeah.
Dan, LeRon, do that. Hook it up. Get it together.
All right.
I'm all for a good. I'm always for great games for a good price for a good deal. Go ahead and do it because I need to get that Splatoon too. And yeah, there's some things from GameStop. I'll be like, I need some games right here. But content creator, mobile performance, best debut. Did you guys want to talk anything about that?
Not really. Content creator. The only thing I'll say about content creator is like I'm when I watch the Game Awards, I'm gonna pay attention to how they correlate the content creator, because these are a lot of people that I've never heard of.
Alana Pierce is the only one that I know. That I know.
I haven't heard of any of them.
I haven't heard of any of these guys, honestly, and that means I'm not following these guys. So I'm starting to think once again this is one of these situations where I'm being told who I need to watch.
Well, Alana Pierce, she's been at IGN and at Funhouse, and she both left there because now she's working at Sony at Santa Monica. She's going to be writing part of, I think she's going to be writing God of War 2
Mm-hmm.
or help them write that.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew of her work and her being a content creator. The other four or the other five, I never heard of. I'm like,
Now,
what?
now, now, mobile. Now, mobile is interesting, but I'm barely a mobile gaming, so I feel a mobile gamer, so I feel like I am not qualified to talk about this. You know, even though I have Genshin Impact and Call of Duty Mobile, but I don't play them.
Uh,
Yeah. I
best
think
day. Oh, go ahead.
I think when it comes to mobile, like Genshin Impact, definitely a lot of people have been playing that.
Yeah.
I think Among Us, even though it's a 2018 game that came out and it just became popular for whatever reason this year,
Mhm.
I think that one
You know what?
is. I think they're going to take it too, just because of how popular it is right now.
That's what I
Um,
think.
You
And
know
that's
what?
yeah,
That's
and
the
I
other thing
think
too. That's the other thing
it
too.
just brought so many people together during this quarantine where people can't really see each other and you got 10 people per screen. So I'm gonna give Among Us that one.
That's the other
uh,
thing too that kind of bothers me about the Game Awards. Like we got a game on here that's been out for over 2 years now,
Hmm.
and that kind of bothers me because technically it should have had its moment to shine in its first year. Like, does that mean we're going to have games that Does that mean eventually Among Us might show up in the best ongoing game category?
Well, I mean, when you think of Among Us, are you gonna think of Among Us 2 years ago, or do you think of it as a 2020 game?
Among
Okay,
Us.
I'll give you that.
It,
I like that logic. I'll give you that.
you know what I mean? Like just because it came out 2 years ago, there's probably 20 people playing
Among,
it. You know, so like this year in 2020, Among Us is one of the best mobile games.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I think that's kind of where they go with it.
mhm.
it's true. I log on to Twitch sometimes, and all I see is Among Us stuff, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, y'all were
Uh,
talking about Fall Guys last week. What the hell?
exactly. Yeah, there
It
was a
is the
big
new
shift.
fad.
That
It
was
is
a
the new
big
fad.
shift. Best debut game, Carry On, Mortal Shell, Raji Ancient Epic, Roki, and Phasmophobia. I would give it, I love Carry On. I love how that looks and everything. I would actually give it to Raji Ancient Epic. I heard a lot of great things, and it's good to see that this Indian developer come together to make this game like this, and they got a lot of good sales and praise when it hit
Wait,
to
wait,
the
wait. Indian as in Hindu.
yes.
Okay, because I was like, wait, are we doing the Indian thing again?
I think I'm for the Indian thing. I've always said Native American.
I'm, 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 I'm sorry. It's just sometimes my brain latches on to certain things. You know, like how sometimes we have like random bouts of dyslexia, even though we have never been dyslexic in our lives. It's kind of one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Raji, Ancient Epic. If I had to give, I voted for this, and I can admit that I voted for this game. I
Mhm.
love Carry On. I love what it does. I think it's still an excellent game that people should play. But
Oh,
I
by the
just
way, how long is the voting? Is the voting still going for this? Because
yeah.
I
What?
haven't cast any votes because me personally, I have a problem with the Game Awards, so I don't know if I'm going to cast any votes. But when's it close? Just so our audience knows.
The closing. I don't know if they'll probably announce it.
So they haven't set like dates for when.
Yeah, but
Let me look
because
it
it's
up.
just
No,
because it went.
they have a date for closing. Hold on. I'm on the site right
Uh,
now.
Okay.
I know. I
I'll look
think
it
it
up
went
while you
live.
talk about this.
It went live Wednesday,
Hmm.
so it'll probably be. I'm assuming maybe next week or the week after. I know before the 10th, of course, or the last week, the week of the Game Awards, they'll probably stop it. But I don't know a date. I just when we started talking about it when I got home from work that day, I just did went ahead and did the voting when I got home. About it. But we're gonna get into anything else, you guys. Did you want to say what you would pick, or take a look at it, or do you guys want to get into the main topics?
I would go with Raji for the best debut. I think that is like just one of the more diverse and wonderful games that came out this year. So I'm glad they got a nominee. It's good to see that there.
You know what? If you guys are mentioning it, then I guess I need to take a look at it.
I
It's fun. I really liked the game a lot.
Yeah, and Corey has it. He picked it up. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm like because it was that kind of like Indian developer who they came together to make it international. I wouldn't have supported that.
Voting ends on December 9th.
December
December 9th,
9th? Okay.
Yeah.
so the day before the Game Awards. Okay.
Oh crap. Okay,
But
well, no. Celeste was saying it was a fluke about the Ghost of Tsushima being $20 because it's back up the regular price now. But it looks like Best Buy just dropped it down to $40.
oh, nice.
Oh,
You know what?
Which I would have a side
Actually,
discussion
actually,
with it
they're
too.
actually they're probably trying to match the flash sale because I'm not mistaken. I think the flash sale price is $40, but I'd rather have physical than digital
The-
right now. Considering that my PS5 is taxed for hard drive space already.
I no.
well, no,
I
we
would
did
have
it.
a side discussion about Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, no, we did a Well, the reason why I filled up my hard drive is because Austin and Nelly asked me when we did our show this week for PS5. They asked me a whole bunch of questions and they asked me if I could just fill up the hard drive just to see like how the space gets allocated for everything. And so it was an interesting discussion because I was able to put a total of 10 PS4 games and 4 PS5 games on the system before it started yelling at me like you need space.
So like about 14
wow.
games, which yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
Shoot,
and all the PS4 games are all digital. So they were the ones that I got off of the collection, the PlayStation Plus collection, or games I already had downloaded, or I purchased digitally previously from my PS4.
I feel what Call of Duty is going to do for that system without an external hard drive. If no one doesn't have it.
Well, yeah, but honestly, the best version to buy is the PS5 edition because the PS5 edition will also feature the PS4 edition.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about memory space.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
storage space, yeah. Yeah, we're just honestly we're just waiting for honestly for a lot of people like me, I'm just waiting for them to go ahead and stop the hardware lock of the M.2 slot,
okay. Well,
so I can spend $400 for a 2 terabyte M.2 SSD.
yes, everybody. That's tight. That's TikTok. So, we're gonna get into the main talk because I know we're running on time. Family game. We're gonna start with. So I even though LeRon got on me because he's just like he only want to talk about it because it's a Nintendo game. I'm like, no, it's because it's for balance. Because probably with most of these games that we're going to talk about, a lot of it is kind of almost the same thing. So, best family, the nominations are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King. Uh, so
How's Paper Mario a family game? That should be an RPG, right?
Well, that's what I was going to kind of bring up with this topic because you can like the two ways I define family games are either wholesome or multiple people can play it,
Yeah.
together. And Paper Mario doesn't really fit the whole family vibe
mhm.
on that. So, with the family games, I voted for Animal Crossing because in a household, everybody can play it and everybody can have their own customization with the island. It's made for everybody, and generally, everybody who plays it loves it. It doesn't matter what age you are. So that's where I went with family gaming.
I went with Paper Mario because of how funny it is. Uh, I Fall Guys and Crash Bandicoot I wouldn't have in this due to the fact that it's a hard game. Not a lot of kids are really playing it because adults are having trouble with it. If I took Paper Mario out, I told then this I'm like I would have put Clubhouse games in for Switch. I think that is a family game because it's 51 games that people could play as a family in a home or on different switches or whatever. But I went with Paper Mario. I think Animal Crossing is too casual of a game to be a family game. I don't know who's really playing Minecraft Dungeons as a family and Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. As good that is, I think we'll see what happens after Christmas happens. I think a lot of people are going to get that thing for Christmas. Um,
If I were to vote on this category, it'd be for Mario Kart Live because in all honesty, this is a game that you can also physically like get people in the same room and they don't even have to be playing the game to enjoy it because you've got the little cars running around a circuit that you can build yourself, on your floor, on your living room floor, wherever you decide to play the game at and stuff like
Dude,
that. I feel
have you
like
seen the pic? Did you
I've
see the picture that someone made a Rainbow Road like out of some kind of bricks or something, but they made a Rainbow Road thing.
no,
For
I haven't
it's a
seen.
nice picture.
In my opinion though, like I feel like that's the game that most deserves that award.
I agree with you, but the reason I didn't give it give that one thought is just because of accessibility.
That's the one thing that knocks it out, because I was thinking the one thing that knocks it out is accessibility, and
Right, because like I think there's a lot of people who don't actually have the room or the space, or they have a dog that's going to eat it, or just don't
yeah,
even have enough money for it. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
and
It's an expensive piece of hardware to
and
have.
also there's only two cars available right now too, and that kind of takes some of the fun
That
out
takes
of it.
away a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it takes away the imagination, because even though technically on the Switch screen you can have any character on there, you're still like having Mario and Luigi
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
and like I,
physical.
I know accessibility isn't part of the voting, but that's why it just didn't get my vote.
Yeah,
Well, we all see that was an easy talk. We got it out the way, so now we're gonna get into more. Best role.
I feel like the two Nintendo guys are gonna gang up on me soon, though. I really feel like it's
No,
Oh,
gonna.
it's coming. It's coming. Wait
LeBron,
till we get to these serious topics.
LeBron. If
that's
me and
that's
Dan
why that's why we need an Xbox person on here.
LeBron, think about it. If me and Dan was gonna jump on you, are you have to be like, yeah, but it don't have this house music. But this house music, and we'll just get into a whole EDM talk once again. Which I love
Yeah,
everybody for
I will take my ball and go home.
oh my. But then I'll try to follow you home and I can't fall back.
You can't have no cheesecake. And
Right.
cheesecake is still here, by the way. You can't have
Oh,
it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
She left it here.
can you show me a
oh,
I told you to send me a personal pic. I don't
I'll.
care to Instagram
You know what? I will send you a picture. I will send you a picture.
of
My
Mitch or
because my next slice is gonna be very immodest. It's going to be very. It's gonna be like I was being conservative last night with the cheesecake, but all bets are off tonight.
right.
I've never taken a food picture until Ed basically asked for one every time I ate.
I know, I know. I'm like,
And
dude.
then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for him this
I'm
time.
like, dude. You were getting in the way of me eating it.
I am not gonna stop your productivity. Just
When the plate's in front of me, I'm trying to eat. Like I don't have time to be fumbling, getting the right angle, messing with the
see,
filters.
you the one that's doing all the work. I just sent a picture. Did I say that I needed to be fancy? No, I need you to put your phone up,
Well,
do it. Only thing
okay,
you gotta do is
I have a very good phone. So I have a very good phone. So it's gonna be like, okay, is he eating a masterpiece or is he eating dog food?
I just need to know what the meal looks like together, the plating. Just send it to take a picture, send it to me, be like, ah, yes, and then go about your way and eat
He
it.
said,
That's all I said.
yes.
So, but we're
All
gonna
right,
get
next
to best.
category. Next category.
Everybody, that has been your snack dinner for today. Best role playing game: Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royale, or Royal, sorry, Wasteland 3, or Yakuza Like a Dragon. Um,
Okay,
I
okay, let me just go ahead and put this out here right now. Wasteland and Yakuza should not be on this list. They're too new.
Wasteland 3 should be on it because Wasteland 3 came out. Wasteland 3 has been out, I think, in August, September or
Oh,
August.
okay.
So
If it's that length of time, yeah. But Yakuza Like a Dragon just came out 2 weeks ago.
yes, I will replace that with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, because a lot of people love
Uh,
that
mm,
RPG. As for as
the
for
problem with
as
that is that's a, which is also why I think Final Fantasy Seven. Okay, Final Fantasy Seven Remake, in my opinion, barely gets a slot here because I'm playing Final Fantasy Seven Remake right now, and it's like, man, like there's a whole bunch of new stuff in this game that just takes it to a new level.
I had
That
started, but I haven't started it yet.
Well, the thing with Final Fantasy VII Remake is, wait, neither of you beat it, right?
mm-mm.
No,
All right, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, but it is a different game.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It is like, you
it
know what?
like it's not definitive edition to the point where, like, I mean, they just don't have enough games for role playing of the year. So I think
well,
definitive
You know
edition
what? You're right.
does
You're right. You're
right
right.
does
because
belong
Persona
over
because
Yakuza, but like it just, I mean, it's just a reskin of, hardly even a reskin of a 10-year-old game.
Yeah,
but
So it's
exactly.
hard to put that in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, I would.
but well
I
the
couldn't
thing
put that in good faith.
like I would take Final Fantasy. Well, I would take Persona 5 Royale and Like a Dragon. Persona 5 Royale because the Persona 5 got nominated when it came out. I would have put Trials of Mana because that came out as a role playing game, and I would have
Never.
put like I
I don't know if I could. Wait, it's Trials and Mana. Trials and Mana technically is a remake.
Right. Same thing with Final Fantasy 7. So why would 7 be in there and Trozomena would not? And don't forget, Trozomena never came to America. So their reimagining of it is a whole different
You know
game.
what? This is what I hate about the Game Awards. Like it's just one giant slippery slope, in my
I really
opinion.
feel like, to be honest with you, LeBron, I really feel like they just threw a whole bunch of games together to make this list.
That's every year though. That's every year. How long has the Game Awards been a thing?
5 or 6 years
Yeah,
or something.
and I feel like every year it just thrown together. It's like it is like, you know what? Th- okay, we can't anticipate when games come out, but they should. But okay, in 2020, they should already have a plan for 2022's Game Awards. You know what I mean? That's how far out they need to be planning and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
Mm, I mean,
I
you
would.
can you can
Okay.
only you can only play with the games that
that are out.
that are out. So like like look at Cyberpunk.
What's
Like it's just delay,
You
delay,
know,
delay because it's planned.
here's what I know for sure. If Cyberpunk had came out on time, it would be on this list, and that's too soon.
And it will. It's to me. So I think Cyberpunk is going to be Game of the Year of 2021. Like for the show,
I don't know. I don't know because
if
the problem I'm seeing is like we don't know what games are coming out next year.
yeah,
Well,
So
the
there's a
thing is,
good
the Game
there.
Awards should just be in February. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So all of this
I say
after the
start in
holiday
planning.
season,
January.
after the
Yeah.
holiday
Yeah,
season. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
we have actual time to play every game that came out, and we know what's out in 2020. And
Yeah.
there's none of this gray area where it's like the matriculation date is, November 12th for a, December
but
10th show.
I think I give it to Wasteland. I would give it to Wasteland 3.
Mhm.
I wouldn't give it to Genshin or Final Fantasy or Persona or Yakuza. I would give it to Wasteland 3. I
based
heard
on
a lot of great
based
things.
on what I'm doing, based on what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with right now, I'd have to say Final Fantasy VII remake. There's just it's the game feels fresh, and this is coming from a guy who played over 1,000 hours of the original Final Fantasy VII. The game just feels fresh, and it's like there's familiarity with it, and then there's nostalgia, but all this new stuff. Oh my! Just the once in a long where Cloud ran that dude out of town. I'm like, whoa. that was
LeBron, I
that
haven't
was
played it yet.
I didn't
Hush.
spoil anything for you by saying that. You don't know who this character
If you
is.
played Final Fantasy VII, you
Hold
get
on,
it.
hold on.
But
If you play Final Fantasy Seven, if you play Final
I
Fantasy
did.
Seven, the fact that I mentioned that did not spoil anything for you because guess what? It's something brand new in the game. I just gave you something that you should be looking forward to. That's not a spoiler.
so I'm giving my vote to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think that game. I mean, this has been anticipated for 6 years before it came out,
Mhm.
Uh,
and it felt new. The battle system was pretty flawless. Graphics were phenomenal, and I think the narrative of the story and where it went towards the end is really. It was just a new, fresh concept, and overall, it was just a really good game. I don't think the other ones are even close to Final Fantasy VII when it comes to a role playing game. So that
yeah,
gets
and
my
I
vote.
mean, Yakuza Like a Dragon is a pretty fresh game. I like it. I should buy it. But
I will
and
say with Yakuza is that I've been seeing a lot of the cutscenes. I haven't really heard anyone say about the battle system. So that's
my buddy Doug has been playing it, I've been watching his stream, and I was like, you know what, your stream made me want to buy it, and he's a Yakuza fan, and he's like, man, yeah, this is something completely different.
yeah.
So
It looks really good.
and plus, like, if you buy it for PS4, you get a free upgrade on PS5. So there you go.
But
Awesome.
if you own Series X, you already got it on Game Pass. So
Wait, it's on Game Pass?
it's on Game Pass.
Hold, don't say that because that's gonna screw them out of a sale.
It's on Game Pass. They announced that.
They're it's gonna screw them out of a sale if it's on there. I'm looking at Game Pass right now. Oh, Severe City Girls is on Game Pass. Ooh.
Oh, I want to buy that game. I need to buy that game. I need to buy the physical of it though. Of it. While you looking that up, so Lamar, you got Final Fantasy 7, Dan, you
Mhm.
got Final Fantasy 7, I got Wasteland 3. So we're gonna go into best action. It's Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alex, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. I think I gave this one to Hades. I have Neo 2, but I haven't started yet. I don't have VR, so I can't really say much about Half-Life Alex. I have Doom Eternal, but didn't really play it. A lot of people say it's the same game. I have Streets of Rage 4. As much as I like the music and the graphics and stuff, I think I enjoyed Hades a little bit more than Streets of Rage 4. Um,
Wait, this is which character? Which
Best action.
best action?
Yeah.
Wait, because there's two. Okay, there's two conflicting. I feel like there's two conflicting
Best
categories
action,
here.
and
There's
then they do action adventure, when
yeah,
they should
yeah,
have just did best adventure.
yeah. Okay, so go ahead, Dan. I need to think about this for a moment.
I gave my vote to Streets of Rage 4. I thought that game was just a blast, but I'm pretty sure Hades is going to win. Hades was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm also gonna agree. Like Streets of Rage 4 probably should get the best action title because like action games, like I think of games like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, games like that.
Mhm.
Hades is a wonderful game. Like Ed, weren't you and I burning that game up at the same time
Yes.
before Foregone came out?
Yes,
We were
dude, I'm almost close to the end of Foregone, and I wish that
oh
was, dude. I if I would take Half Life Alex out right now and put Foregone into Best Action, and that would win for me.
yeah.
Foregone is crazy good.
I hope Foregone gets on the Game Awards nominations for next year. I hope it does.
Yes. But you guys go with Streets of Rage 4. I'm going with Hades with that one, both games, I feel like both games deserve it. I own Streets of Rage for digitally and physically, since Limited Run Games didn't give my game to like 2 months after it came out. I was just like, no, I gotta play this one. We're gonna jump into best of action adventure: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, let me start here because there's two
Go ahead.
games. There's two games in this list that should automatically be disqualified: Valhalla and Miles Morales. Now,
Yes.
now that I've said that, based on what we've seen here, I feel like it's a toss up between the other four games. Now, I can't make a good decision because I currently have The Last of Us Part Two. I've played and damn near beaten Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm currently trying to like burn up someplace trying to buy a copy of Ghost of Tsushima, and Ori and the Will of the Wisp is an amazing game. So I can't make a decision on any of these titles that are seen
Okay,
here.
so The Last of Us Part Two doesn't deserve it.
Oh
That's more,
damn!
yeah, it doesn't deserve action adventure. It deserves best narrative, I
I was
think,
gonna
as a
go with
story.
I was gonna say exactly that
Okay,
because
okay.
I don't think The Last of Us 2 should be an action adventure because it's such a story driven game
Mm,
Yeah.
versus like so mine's going to Ghost of Tsushima
mm,
because I think those two are probably the best out of the four that are left because I agree with you, LeRon, those two need to be gone.
yeah.
But Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, those are the ones I was between and I just said, you know what? The Last of Us is too story driven. If we're looking at action adventure, I'm going with the one that's more gameplay driven.
You know
So
what?
I'm
You
going
know
to
what?
I
Let me. So
Go ahead,
now,
Laura.
now that you guys have said that, then I can faithfully cast a vote. It'd be for Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi. That would be
Well
my
deserved.
vote. That would be my vote.
Well deserved. I went with Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I feel like, first of all, Microsoft really didn't get no representation in this whole in just this whole show, and I love Will of the Wisp. It's beautiful. The action is there. Is even though it has this Metroidvania kind of style, I really enjoyed the improvements that they did with it. I had Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I tried a little bit of it, but I think that game I gotta sit down and really focus on, put some time and more effort
You
into it.
know what?
Ghost of Tsushima, I love as a game. It's beautiful, but then it gets into feeling like another open world game to me. So there's not much to offer with it as an action and stuff. I love the fights and stuff, but you kind of do almost the same things, so it's very limited. It's cool when people take what they have done in the game and do like a replay and do like slow motion to make it look very choreographed and stuff for video. But as I got to the end of that game, it just got really redundant, and I was just like, I'm not feeling the action of this beautiful game. But yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, I have to give
Actually,
it.
you know what? I feel like they have enough games in all seriousness on that are sprinkled throughout the different categories. Why is there not a best platforming game category?
Why is there not in there?
What?
Because they
Because
will,
But no,
they
because Ori and the Will of the Wisp would automatically win that title. That's why I'm asking why there is none. Because in all seriousness, let's look at this. Crash Bandicoot's in there. Ori's in there. I gotta look. I gotta look through all the games that are listed here, but they have enough games among all these categories to have made a best platforming game category.
Yeah,
Agreed.
agree. I agree. Well, we're gonna move on to best art direction. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part Two. Now, this for art direction, I would give to The Last of Us Part Two. I'm sorry, like Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful, but it's beautiful in a color stance. Looking at all the beautiful colors and how they all coordinate. Hades has a great art direction, like art look with this cartoon kind of anime graphics, or in the Will of the Wisp looks beautiful, like almost as a painting. Final Fantasy VII Remake is just it's beautiful because it looks like almost like the movie that they did, Final Fantasy Spirits with not Spirits Within, the other one that they did
Advent
for
Children.
Advent
Advent
Children.
Children. Yeah, it looks like that, but better with production. Just looks beautiful. But the Last of Us Part Two, the sceneries, the character models, even though it's kind of like depressing and everything. Looking at Seattle and all the water and just different parts of that, I was really shocked. I really would give it to that for art direction.
As a fan of the Last of Us series, I can't give art direction to Last of Us because in all seriousness, The Last of Us 2 basically looks like just an update to The Last of Us 1 as far as like the scenery and everything. The original Last of Us blew me away with their art direction and stuff like that, but like I I just see The Last of Us 2 as being more of the same with a little more glitz and glamour. Um, out of all these games on this list, I say it's a fight between Ori and Ghost of Tsushima. And the reason why now Ghost of Tsushima that looks like poetry in motion. In my opinion, it does,
Mhm.
and it's just one of those situations where I feel like best art direction is kind of subjective. It's based on the person that's viewing it. In my opinion, all five of these games on this list are great.
Yes.
I feel like The Last of Us Part Two is kind of like just a throw in my opinion, and that's me as a Last of Us, Uncharted, Naughty Dog fan. That's me saying that. Hades is gorgeous. Hades is gorgeous, but I feel like Hades has time to shine for a while because this is one of those games you had early access, open beta to. It
On
has t-
Epic Games.
it has time to shine in my opinion. Like Ghost of Tsushima, like it's beautiful. Ori is beautiful. Remake, that's Advent Children. Okay, so Advent Children had two releases: Advent Children and Advent Children Complete. This is like Advent Children Max, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Max Plus.
Yeah.
Deluxe.
I'm gonna go with Hades. I think Hades is so. In my opinion, I think like these beautiful 3D graphic of like Final Fantasy VII, The Last of Us, and Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's really hard. Like LeRon said, it's subjective. In my opinion, I don't see that as like an art direction. So when I look at Hades, I see a unique art that I've never seen before, and I see unique surroundings and level design that I've never seen before. So if I see a picture of a character from Hades, I know exactly what game that character is from.
Mhm.
And I think each character in that was designed so well and just so wonderfully like detailed in every single way. And they all have details that you notice. So I think I'm gonna go with Hades.
And then the game made a lot of people horny for a lot of these characters. Like you talking about thirst traps and just thirst of all.
It's
The people was on the Sam Club 2 for 1 48 case of thirst that people
it's
wanted with these.
it's
It
easy to thirst
uh
trap. It's easy to thirst trap with Greek mythology because I mean Greek mythology was all about beautiful people
it
anyway.
was
Mhm.
pretty much.
It's easy to
I,
thirst trap with that.
I know if there was anybody in Greek mythology that was ugly, they just throw him in hell.
and even
or
and
or
even
Hades.
and even King Hades himself looks very attractive. I'm like, wow.
He's a daddy. I was just like, I want to snag you. Uh, cause yeah. But we're gonna move on to best artist. I can't believe
I can't believe you
that.
did that.
Oh well. Best. Well, he is a snag, and I'm not gonna lie. He could get it.
Moving on, moving on.
Best audio design. We have Doom Eternal, Half Life, Alex, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, Last of Us Part 2. Hmm.
I'm gonna say Last of Us for this one. because that's one of the things about The Last of Us that The Last of Us is known for. Like it's all about like your environment and what you can see and what you can hear. So that's one of those things. Now, Resident Evil 3 remake, it actually like I do like it, but the problem with Resident Evil 3 remake is they didn't have, in my opinion, they didn't have the audio balanced enough because like the when I was streaming and playing on headphones, I was I have 7.1 surround headphones, so like it's designed to like actually tell me which zone like I'm being attacked in or something's going to come up on. They didn't have it balanced enough, so it seemed like no matter what, if something was behind me, it sounded like it was all around me. So it was just one of those things like I couldn't really get on the sound design on audio design for that. Now I'm not sure. Like they need to explain how this category is broken down because us as gamers, when we think of audio design, we're thinking how's it push our surround sound system. That's what a lot of us are thinking. Is either that or they're thinking of soundtrack, which best soundtrack should be its own category.
Yes, Doom Eternal. I gotta play enough to hear it. I know. I would say it would probably be the music and maybe some of the gun sounds. I haven't played Half Life Alyx, so I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima. I would pass on as audio designs, like listening to like the characters and the music and stuff. It's just like, it doesn't really do nothing for me. Resident Evil 3, I have really not much to say against it, only because I didn't play it. Yeah, I got to install. There was a lot of stuff I was playing when it came out. The Last of Us Part 2, since I play a lot of that, and I played a lot of that with my headphones, listening to it, man, the performances, the audio, listening to the dogs, listening to how they screaming yards away, where'd she go? Get her, go around the like hearing all of that and making getting a lot of stuff make the intensity really there by listening to it, man. Like The Last of Us Part 2, they did a phenomenal job. And definitely I would say this. Sony knows sound. And I think working for a company that is known for amazing sound, phenomenal sound, they had to be working within to get that good surround sounding in this game with The Last of Us Part 2. Not a knock against Ghost, but The Last of Us Part 2, I would give to best audio design.
Out of the two game, I mean, out of all these games, I've played two of them, Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Two. For all the reasons you guys said, I'm just gonna go with Last of Us Two.
Yeah, like I said, I own Resident Evil 3 and Doom Eternal. I just got to sit down and play them and everything. I went and got them, supported them, but then Animal Crossing came out and then Trials of Mana came out because I was waiting for Trials to see if I was going to like it and get into it before I popped in Resident Evil 3. So that's me. That's best audio design. Esport game. I don't got the list up just yet for esport game, but do we have anything to say about esports game? Or anything?
This is best esports game.
Yeah. Oh, so it's Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Counter Strike, Global Offensive, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Valorant.
Why is CS:GO? Actually, never mind. Never mind. I can't say it like that because we have games that are basically ongoing games, so it doesn't really
Mhm.
matter in my opinion. I'm gonna say it's a toss up between Fortnite and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I say it edges out because it's got the Call of Duty name, and that's probably why it has so much fan appeal.
I,
I'm gonna go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare because everything else, I Fortnite, I really don't think I don't haven't seen a big community sports like esport game with that. League of Legends, I think is good, but it does nothing for me. Valorant, I haven't seen no one really talk about that for the esports community, and I don't know much about CS:GO, so I'm just gonna give it to Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
I mean, I'm gonna just exclude myself on the esports stuff. Like I've hardly played any of these games. I don't watch esports. It's it's something I really have no opinion on, and nobody wants to listen to my opinion on it.
It's all good, man.
And that's why I said because we're not knowledgeable with it. I went with the safe thing with this one, so I happy that Call of Duty was in it because I don't know anything else. And Fortnite, I still think that if you can play Fortnite, you should be able to get through Mega Man 2 without no problem. But that's just me.
All right, there we go.
Fair enough.
So, best fighting, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, Under Night in Birth, XEX, EXE, Late CLR, I think that's the name, weird Japanese name. I, yeah, I'm just gonna go with Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. I,
I would say Street Fighter Five Champion Edition, but there's been so many problems with the game's netcode and stuff like that. There's also been problems with there's been problems with with the Capcom Cup and all that stuff. I'm gonna say honestly, it's Mortal Kombat 11.
I went with Mortal Kombat 11, but again, I've only played two of these games: Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat 11. Both of them had their issues. Like Mortal Kombat 11 was tough online,
Yeah,
but I think just fundamentally, Mortal Kombat was a better game in my opinion.
I
it's,
I
oh,
I have a lot of friends there. I have a lot of friends that are in that are in the esports arena, especially for fighting games stuff like that. And a lot of them do play Street Fighter, but they have some of the they have some of the most complaints about Street Fighter as well, as far as like some things that were handled and stuff like that. And also the main producer, I can't remember his first name, but it's Ono. He's stepped down recently. I think it's
mhm,
more or less for illnesses and stuff like that.
yeah.
And the executive producer for Monster Hunter is taking over for the Street Fighter franchise. So
Oh wow!
yeah, that just shows right there like where all the money was made at for Capcom in the last couple of years.
Yeah, to be honest, I Street Fighter 5 has had a lot of problems ever since it came out. And they've been trying to work on it to get that game better. I don't know how successful it is or anything, but because I'm so used to Street Fighter, I went with that. I'm There's not a knock against Mortal Kombat 11 or anything. I just didn't have plans on getting Mortal Kombat 11. I think it's a great game on any platform that you play it on. I like the fact that they brought Rambo to it and everything. But
I,
it's
I
a game
had it
that
on. I had it on Switch and PlayStation 4. It is not good on every platform you play it
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Play it on PlayStation if you're going to play Mortal
yeah.
Kombat, not Switch.
See, Street Fighter Five Champion Edition, it's Champion Edition is a new game. It's an
Mhm.
update to Street Fighter Five, but it's a new game. Like you can physically go out and buy Street Fighter Five Champion Edition, and you skip all the drama from when Street Fighter Five was launched without a practice mode. Remember that?
Oh,
Yeah,
Street Fighter Five launched. There was no practice mode, so you couldn't even get in there and like learn the move sets. You had to learn the move sets on the fly.
but yeah, like I think what you had to play the computer to learn them,
Yeah,
like the story mode thing,
yeah.
and that
yeah.
even that was broken.
Hmm.
Yeah, be honest with you, I don't. So no disrespect to everything else, like One Punch Man, but that's an anime game, and we know how anime fighters are. If it's not
Wait, is
Dragon
it is
Ball
it is it
fighters,
is it legit an anime game?
yeah.
Because I think the only reason why I thought it was an actual fighting game, but then again, they swear up and down Smash Brothers is a fighting game, and I'm like, that's a party game,
And Nintendo said it's a party game. They never said it was a fighter. I think people have
That's why
tried
it's
to
not
make
part of
it.
Evo.
huh?
It's not part of the. Is it Evo the fighting
Yeah.
Yeah,
esports?
Well,
Yeah.
no,
yeah,
well, no. They've had it a couple times at Evo,
yeah.
but
Evo,
but but
yeah,
Nintendo being Nintendo, it's kind of a hat toss when it shows up for Evo.
Mm.
yeah. And that's when Evo works with Nintendo to have it there. It's because a lot of people play it. Like I said, a lot of people play it as a fighting game. They know that when people watch Evo and stuff, that's when they get the huge viewership. Is when it's the Smash tournament. Everything else, people would check in to see who was doing it and then go about their way. When it comes to Smash, a lot of people will check in. But we're gonna move on to best indie game. Carry On, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. I think Spiritfarer does deserve it. I think a lot of people love it, but I went for Hades. Like
Mhm.
I feel
Hades
like
is
I feel
too
like
dang
Hades is
good.
going. I feel like Hades is going to take it for indie. It's either going to be Hades or it's going to be Fall Guys.
I think Fall Guys was too much of a fad.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
I don't know. I just think it like came and gone out of the spotlight. I feel like Among Us came and just swept a lot of Fall Guys players out of the way.
Oh God,
Um,
don't let Logan hear you.
but Hades is the one that just it was one of the more approachable roguelike games. Again, you know, are everything about it. It's the best indie game,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. What about you, LeRon? Oh,
Oh,
did you say
yeah,
Hades?
it was Hades. In my opinion, it's Hades for best
Okay.
indie. In my opinion, I think, 'cause like I said, like it's gonna be a fight between Fall Guys and Hades, but my underdog will be Carry On.
Yeah, I
And
think Carry On
Carry
might
On,
get
or is
some.
it Carry On or Carrion? Like the birds.
carry on.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and no, not to Spiritfarer or Splunky 2. Those two are great games. People love Spiritfarer. I was shocked that it was coming to Switch because they only showed this game at Microsoft's E3 and they had no date for it. So when they dropped it for Switch, they dropped it for everything else. That's very weird. I didn't expect that at all. But we're gonna get into best narrative. 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy 7 remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. So best narrative, I will go with The Last of Us Part 2. I I know that the story is depressing and like miserable and stuff like that, but it really told a great story, even though it's super long to tell this story. It was really interesting to see a lot of where they were going with this, and everything. And Final Fantasy VII remake, because if people who played the original game know the story, kind of know some stuff. The way that it's presented is different. Ghost of Tsushima, um, I, the story wasn't strong in that game. It's good, but it's not too strong. Hades got too many multi endings, so if you want to know the full thing, you got to do a lot of runs. And I haven't played 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, so I don't know the narrative for that.
Why isn't 13 Sentinels in Aegis Rim in Indie?
Who knows?
Why is
Yeah,
and Indy?
like this
Oh,
is the only time I see. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only category this game shows up in.
yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It's really weird. Dan, what's your thoughts on the best narrative?
So it's tough because you guys hadn't beat Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I can't spoil things. But I'm going to go with Final Fantasy VII Remake because it's something I've never really seen out of a video game before. What they did was they made this game as kind of a love letter
The
the
fans.
to the fans, and at the same breath they're also saying we're going to take this game and we're going to go in a different direction with it. And there's a narrative going through the entire game that you don't really notice until the end, that gives it replay value, and it gives it kind of a different approach to seeing how the events transpire through the whole game. So Final
Honestly,
Fantasy VII Remake gets my vote.
honestly, I'm already seeing a bit of that narrative that you're talking about, to where like it's when I played Final Fantasy VII originally, I kind of knew what was going on. I mean, philosophically, I kind of knew what was going on with the story. But now in this day and age, like the stuff that I'm encountering in Final Fantasy VII remake is actually it's another one where art imitates life here,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's I've had many times playing Final Fantasy VII remake, and I don't even think I'm halfway through the game yet.
What
Uh,
part are you at?
we just Oh, it's Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett are officially going on their first mission.
Oh yeah, you're
Okay.
way at the beginning
Yeah,
still.
exactly, exactly.
And
I've met Aerith, but she's not part of the party yet. You know,
Yeah.
I've done basically the flower girl moment that seems to be a trope in like Final Fantasy games
yes,
nowadays.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
and then I will say I am playing the original Final Fantasy VII, but I like I said I own remake.
What?
And
Wait.
actually I
I'm
wasn't.
curious. Why are you playing the original Final Fantasy VII? Why?
It's been a while since I ran through that game, and I have it on PlayStation 4, and I was just like, you know what, this has been on my system for years. Let me
I've played
run through
Final
this game.
Fantasy VII so many times I could probably narrate it.
Yeah, and definitely for me, it's just been a long time since I played it, so I just feel like playing it, like a good old school RPG on PS4,
Right.
um,
So
and
just
everything.
just to
And
clarify
uh,
though,
hold on, there before you go.
7 and 7 remake are different narratives.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. I will say I was going to wait for the Xbox version of Final Fantasy VII, but the sale that was going on at Target when me and LeRon was talking, I was just like, I need to snag it up for the sale. Like buy two get one free. I might as well do it. So uh, that's when I went ahead and got that. So I am late getting it because I was gonna wait to it, but I'm thinking for Boss Rush, Game of the Year, that I need to have the stuff that we're probably gonna nominate. So I do. Final Fantasy VII probably would have been on the list, so I need to get it so I could play it to see. Uh,
All right.
so, yeah, we're gonna move on to best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, Warzone, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. And I would say this: Game Awards. If you're going to nominate these games, have the right thumbnail or picture for them, because you got Last of Us Part 2 for Destiny 2, you got Ghost of Tsushima for Call of Duty Warzone, you got Hades for Fortnite, and then you got Miles Morales for No Man's Sky.
That was a
That's
mess. That was a
That
mess.
was funny.
I was just like, wow. So I gave this to Destiny 2. I think the community is good. I think the improvements that they have been doing for Destiny 2 is worth it. I have my problems with Destiny, but I bought Beyond Light. I haven't started up yet, but from what I hear, it's a lot of big improvements for it. So Destiny 2 would be my choice.
I agree.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing to say on this one.
Um, it's either honestly Destiny 2, but I'm a little biased on this because man, like Bungie just goes all out with their ad campaign for the game.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's almost like Destiny 2 is a movie and not a video game.
Can I say that Beyond Light? I told Corey this. I'm like that Beyond Light trailer is amazing. Like I could watch a Destiny 2 movie if they did something like that.
hmm
Like it looks so good
hmm
with it.
That
So
might be where they're going. I mean, Bungie's had other projects that became movies.
hey, I'm down for it if they decide to do it. So we're going to get into best sports racing. So Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K 21, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I think Tony Hawk is gonna win this one. I really don't have a say on any of this because I haven't played 35, F1, FIFA 21. EA is has their problems with it and they're dealing with it. Trust me. Go watch Crossroads. Everybody for the last 2 weeks, they have talked about EA and it's a good conversation that they have. I think LeRon, I've been listening to both shows and I was just like, you know what? I have nothing to say about this. I agree with everything that y'all say. Like I literally just like that's
just
all.
just so you guys know, EA is catching a lot of flack right now because of in Canada and Europe. And it might be in the United States soon too if they don't watch themselves about loot boxes and
Mhm.
basically it's going against gambling laws and stuff like that. So check out the last few weeks of Crossroads just to get more on it. Dan, go ahead and throw your hat in on this one because I
I'm interested to hear what Dan has to say.
Tony Hawk, I don't think is going to win because it's like what we talked about with Xenoblade, where it's just a reskin of old games. Just all freshen up. FIFA, I can't give them my vote because they didn't give the same love to all of their FIFA games as they did on Xbox and PlayStation. So
We're
you're
still
out.
playing. We're still playing FIFA 15 on Switch.
I'm gonna go with NBA 2K21. I think that's the first time I've played a new 2K game where they've actually fixed all the bugs. They came out with a nice, smooth approach to it. The park works. And I do like the career mode and how to build your character. I think they really just fleshed out all the things that weren't working in the older 2K games, and I think they finally got it right.
I I was honestly gonna say 2K21 as well for basically all those reasons. And I'm not even, like I said, a sports game player. Like Tony Hawk, you know, might get it just because people are talking about it. That might be the
Mhm.
only reason why it wins. But 2K21 is where I would throw my vote in.
I give it a Tony Hawk. I give it a Tony Hawk because I know a lot of people like they love the improvements that game was. A lot of nostalgia may play a part. I've never played Tony Hawk. I wasn't into that series at all. It
But
did nothing for me.
also, the
Um,
thing with Tony Hawk is the only people that are playing that game are people our age because we grew up with it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Nobody in their
much.
20s gave a shit about that or their teens. So,
Yeah, and
That's
you
true.
know,
people. I guess people.
skateboarding isn't even that popular anymore. I mean, everybody was skateboarding in the 90s.
So before we get into game of the year, our last category, because we did multiplayer, games for impact quickly was If Found, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition, Spirit Forever, Tell Me Why, Through the Darkness of Times. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about this before we get to the other category before game of the year. Um, Games for Impact, I went with Spirit Spiritfarer because it kind of deals with death and you going and handle it after the afterlife. I never played If Found. I never played Kentucky Route, and I never heard of Through the Darkness of Times. I know Tell Me Why it deals with transgender, um, and that's great. I think all three. I think all three episodes is out, so everybody can play that. But there was something about Spiritfarer. I think the animation and what it dealt with was really appealed to me. So I went with Spiritfarer for this one. But I do recommend people to go play Tell Me Why if they want to play something that deals with transgender and something that's like kind of new to video games when it comes to sexual preference or orientation or and gender stuff like that. What do you guys think?
Um, Go ahead, Dan.
So for me, I haven't played really any of these games. I think LeRon, this is one of those categories, or not categories, but I think this is one of those moments where you say, "Hey, this is just telling me what to play or what to do." But I look at these and like there are some games that I didn't know were out there that are thought provoking in ways that I wouldn't usually get out of a video game.
Mhm.
So even though I'm not voting on this, there are probably going to be games. I'm going to look into them and probably play games that I think would kind of, um, you know, at least get me thinking outside the box a little bit more. So
Yeah.
I don't have
I,
a vote. I don't have an opinion. That's just
uh,
where I am with
I
this.
do want to check out If Found. I never heard of it, but I like that. I like that art style, so I want to see what that game is about.
Honestly, I don't have enough experience of any of these games. I have Tell Me Why, but I haven't even started yet, and I know the impact that Tell Me Why definitely has will have for anyone that plays it or has already played it.
Mhm.
I so yeah, I definitely see why it's on this list, but I can't honestly make a vote on the other games because I need to see and know what these games are about first. So me throwing a vote for Tell Me Why is just a biased vote. It's got to be. I got to be fair on this, and I can't be fair and objective. So I wouldn't cast a vote on this one either.
Okay. Innovation and accessibility. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyper Dot, The Last of Us Part 2, Watch Dogs Legion. I didn't get this category at
This
all.
category makes no sense.
What does it mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of those ones where Jeff Keighley's on the mic, fumbling around, trying to have the audience understand what it's about. Because innovation and accessibility, okay, grounded, I'm familiar with, and yeah, there's accessibility in it. There's some innovation in it, but Watch Dogs Legion, Last of Us Two. Okay, we got to throw out Last of Us Two because only a select amount of people can play that game. Only a select amount of people can play that game. If it's got to be accessibility, everybody needs to have a chance to play this game. So we have to throw exclusives out. We have
And
to.
Grounded
Well,
got to get Grounded
here's
got
the
to
definition
get
of it. Recognizing software or hardware that's pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed at an even wider audience.
Okay,
Well then the only
that's
game the
none of
only
these games.
actually no the only game that counts is Grounded. That's the only one. That game is still being built.
Well, I'm thinking like the Xbox controller for disabled people, like people who have, who could game that kind of way. And like Last of Us Part Two, yes, that's a Sony game. Assassin's Creed and Watchdog Legions, that is a open world game. So who's really trying to play that? Like they don't bring no innovation. Ubisoft been doing open world tower games for years, so that's nothing new. Grounded, even though it's like an easy access, you only can play it on a Microsoft platform. So yeah, you can play it on PC and Xbox, but who's really playing anything like that? And I don't even know what Hyperdot is. Hyperdot looked like some Beat Mania or something mixed with some art style DJ thing. I don't know what the world Hyperdot is. So I really can't give this to. I really can't, like you, Dan. I can't vote on this. I don't know what this is, or like if I was going to say innovation and accessibility, it's going to, I think it's got to be something that uses the Xbox controller, that accessibility controller. Because that's what I'm thinking when playing games. And if you could use it on PC, Xbox, PS4, and Nintendo with some kind of wiring stuff, if you could use that, then there should be some games that is easier for disabled or people who have a hard time playing games be able to use that to play it. And what game fits, because in all honesty, maybe something like Animal Crossing would be. I'm just using that as an example. Something that's casual that people could get in, because I can't. And I'm not being disrespectful to anybody, to the disabled community. I'm not being disrespectful to anyone, or you guys. But are you really trying to, like, if you gotta move your character by breathing the two? Are you really trying to do that on Watchdog Legions, an open world game? And I'm just being serious. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I can't throw a vote in. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about with this.
Yeah.
So, and nothing, I mean, nothing about any of these things are really jumping out at me as like innovative or something pushing it to a point where I've never seen it before or wowed me. So I'm gonna give a hard pass on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm the same way. First of all, like I said, like even with you defining the category, it still makes zero sense to me.
I think I was more confused after reading it.
Yeah,
Well, after looking at the games.
it's like they just threw something at us.
Yeah, they ran
And
out of
also the 5 games listed here. Well, 4 of the 5 games listed here make no sense for this category. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I just need to step my game up. It's probably time to go back to school and go back to
I would
grammar
say this,
school.
LeBron. Is it Miles Morales that have, for people who are colorblind, you could adjust something
There
for
is
it to,
yes, there is something for the color.
that would
There
be
is something for the
okay.
See,
colorblind
that's
blind
something.
spectrum.
So that's what needs to be in this category, and I will vote for that. So
Yeah.
my vote is for Miles Morales. Are you guys with me or not?
Yes.
My
I
vote
don't
is
know.
get rid of this and just throw in best platformer. There we go.
Exactly. What? Okay, Jeff Keighley, if you're watching us, I need to ask you, what is this bullshit category? For real, this is one of the few categories. I'm like, this is BS, dude. You've been
This is a,
you've been doing video games for a long damn time. I used to work in GameStop, and your face used to be on the GameStop TV 24/7, dude. What the hell?
I need a best soundtrack because you know.
Yes, where's that at? You know what? You know what? After the Game Awards show happens, we should come back and have our suggestions for categories that the show should have had.
So they do have a best score in music.
Where's
Where
that?
was the nomination at?
Where was that at? I didn't see. I
So
didn't see it.
Right.
it's Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or Last of Us Part 2.
Hmm.
Is that audio design?
Nope, this is best score in music.
I
You
didn't
know
get
what?
that
You
nomination
know
at
what?
all.
Their
It's
Twitter
right if you go to the voting, it's right above audio design.
their Twitter page didn't even have it out there because I everything I
I'm
put
just look. I'm looking at the nominee page right now.
yeah because everything I put all those photos and everything that I put out there was directly from their Twitter page, and I made sure to follow that entire like thread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and thank you, LeRon, for doing that for us. I
Hey,
truly
we got to be prepared.
Yes, that is true. So we come to the final portion, Game of the Year. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, The Last of Us Part 2.
Hang on, let me take my headphones off real fast because this next comment, there's about to be a fight.
Hold
There's
on,
about to be
hold
a
on.
fight.
Before we get into it, do you guys think that any game got snubbed out of Game of the Year?
Yeah,
You know what?
I do.
You know what?
And
I,
and,
I
and I was can I go first, LeRon?
yeah. Go first.
I Murder by Numbers. It's an indie game, but it's not only is it funny, it's a great pre-cross game, but it's a great also detective game. Like the stories and the cases and the artwork is amazing. The story and the narrative, the writing is literally funny. It's top tier, and we have a black and protagonist, female. Like the diversity, there's trans, like it hits on a lot of things for that game. And I don't know, a lot of people didn't play or anything, and it's on Switch, but man, it's so great, and the music is fantastic. The animation is phenomenal. Like it should have been on this list, and that's a personal thing for me. I think it should have been on this list.
I don't have anything. So they put out a tweet for the Game Awards saying guess the six nominees. I guessed all of these except I had Miles Morales instead of Doom Eternal because I just thought it was going to be there. I don't really have a game that I think should have been up there, jumped out at me this year. I think of all the flaws that the Game Awards have, this is the one where they actually hit it.
I can agree because I can't. I know I played a bunch of different games over the last year.
Mhm.
I can't say for sure how many new games I played. Like, oh, and by the way, Dan, hats off to you, man. I bought Fire Emblem.
And
Yeah.
how's it going?
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Too bad.
nice.
Too bad the PlayStation 5 came out came into the house 4 days later.
What
Uh,
house did you choose in Fire Emblem?
The deer, the house of the deer.
With
that's
Clyde?
yellow.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be affiliated with royalty. I didn't. So that's how I broke that down.
That
I
was
got
my
Blue
first
House.
playthrough as well. I loved that run.
Yeah. But I also agree. Like the games that are on this list, I think they definitely nailed this one
I
because
think they played it safe.
you think they played it safe. Come on,
I
these are some heavy hitters. Like you got to remove your
I
bias.
don't
You
think
got to remove your bias for a minute. You got to
Doom
remove.
Eternal, Doom Eternal, no one played, and
Are
everybody
you
felt it was
are
the
you
same.
kidding me?
I'm
Are you
I'm not kidding.
kidding me?
You want to get Animal Crossing destroyed Doom Eternal? People are not just
No,
playing Doom Eternal because they get
Okay. It's
Game Pass.
remember, exclusives are always handled differently. Remember that. Because I guarantee you, if a game like Animal Crossing versus The Last of Us 2 came out multi-platform, how do you think those sales would go?
Multi-platform, as in what?
Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. If those two games weren't just exclusive to the one console and they came out everywhere, you could play them everywhere. How do you think the sales would turn out for those?
Everybody will probably buy it on Nintendo.
That's not what I meant. I meant okay. Let's say Animal Crossing's on Switch sells 1 million copies, and it's just because
Mhm.
it's exclusive to Switch. How many copies do you think? How many more copies do you think it'll sell if it was on all the other platforms? The other four platforms. I'm including PC in this one. You
It
got,
won't. It wouldn't sell as much as Nintendo.
but it would still make them more money.
No, would it?
Yeah, it would.
No, would it?
Okay,
Yeah, I would.
it would.
It wouldn't.
Speaking, Ed, listen to this. Listen to this. Okay, Ed.
Are you saying that Animal Crossing being on PlayStation or Microsoft platform
Okay.
will add more sales to
Okay.
Nintendo?
Okay.
Yes,
Here.
because
Yes.
you don't limit somebody.
You
If
don't.
you
Yeah.
have like if you sell a coffee or a chicken sandwich at McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King, you can get your chicken sandwich anywhere. But if
Mhm.
you only sell it at Wendy's, you're not gonna you're gonna miss out on sales. Like
Okay, Ed.
it's a
Here's
very
here's a better example. Monster Hunter
Mhm.
World. Monster Hunter World came out on Xbox One, and PlayStation
Mhm.
4.
Yes.
It came out later on the PC,
Mhm.
and it catapulted Capcom to the number one video game seller for that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's because it had more accessibility to sales. Like Monster Hunter World smacked down a whole bunch of other games that were already super sellers because
Mhm.
it opened up on an additional platform. I mean,
Yeah. But
so now like
I guess what I'm talking I guess I'm thinking it this way. If it released all on all three platforms on at the first time, not broken on multiple releases, because the Monster Hunter is a multiple release game, meaning that it came on two platforms and then it came to another platform. I'm talking about releasing that one game on all three platforms.
okay, that's fair. And
So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Animal Crossing being a Nintendo franchise, it would sell the most copies on Nintendo. But
yeah.
here's the thing about this is why I feel like these new consoles are coming out. Is
Mhm.
going to redefine the landscape of gaming because we're going to get more cross-play titles. We're going to get more people there.
But
Oh,
this is
I don't know. So wait. We're finally gonna stop hearing people say, "Oh, I only have an Xbox. I can't play this game," because cross play is going to happen. So they'll be able
Mhm.
to play Xbox players on PlayStation. They'll be able to play Nintendo players on an Xbox.
When we had that EA conversation last year, why do you, I mean last year, last week, why do you think I said don't announce that your game is coming from multiple platforms or consoles
That's a
when
completely. Hold on, that's complete. No, no, no,
that's
no, no.
which is
No, no,
third
no,
which
no,
is third
no,
party.
no, no,
I'm just
no,
saying
no, no.
I'm just saying that if I'm sorry, LeRon, I'm just saying that using the logic of releasing a game on multiple platforms all at one time, Nintendo doesn't get that with EA games. Or just use that for example. If they're going to say that we're really going to release this game on console and PC, Switch needs to be included, and Switch is sometimes not included in that.
Ed, that's a completely different conversation. The
Yes, we're talking about first party being on multiple
no, no, no,
platforms.
no, no. Okay, you still. This is a different conversation because and I thought
I feel like Dan is just eating some popcorn and not drinking.
I thought I explained this pretty well though. The reason why I don't even want to get to the Mass Effect conversation because I feel like you brought that up at a
I'm just saying EA announcing that this game is coming up for consoles and PC. If you're going, I feel like if you're going to do consoles,
it was their jargon and us as gamers, and I thought I explained this. Us as gamers, we understand when you say consoles and PC, we don't unless they
why
said
not?
no,
That's why
stop. Unless they if they had said coming out to every console and PC, then we could legitimately have that argument. We could. We could.
I feel like if you're, I feel like don't even use ever. Just use the specific consoles that you're going to be bringing it out for and move on.
You know what? That's cool too. But console, there's so many consoles out there now. Technically, our phones are a console.
I mean,
I'm not pissed.
as we get the mobile platform,
I'm not pissed that Mass Effect isn't coming to the phone, even though it probably will be on the phone thanks to XCloud.
right? Uh,
All right.
I'm sorry, Dan. I love you. Right, I love you too. Dan's just like these two. What I think what I'm trying to I think what I feel like if Animal Crossing when it came to PlayStation and Xbox, it's the fan base on those two other platforms will ignore Animal Crossing because they feel like high definition games or action games or certain kind of genre of games that they're used to, they enjoyed it on their platform and they feel like this is so cutesy and stuff that it's not for them for their platform. Because trust me, Harvest Moon is, and even though Stardew Valley is on every platform and that does do numbers, a lot of people who are older gamers do not talk about those games like they should.
Right, but
Okay.
you're forgetting the fact that not only one person in a household plays a PlayStation.
Right.
If you have a younger brother or a kid or something,
You
you
might,
could
but
buy Animal Crossing for that kid to
the
play
prop,
instead of like them popping in Call of Duty.
well, that depends on that
Actually,
really depends on the parents. So that
there's one other thing. There's one other thing to take account. COVID has made people manage their budgets. Nowadays, they can only afford to buy one system. Nowadays, so just imagine if Animal Crossing had came out on every platform, it wouldn't have had to shoehorn people on saying, "Oh, I need to go into debt this month because I got to spend $300 plus $60 to play this game."
Right.
You got to think about that. That's why,
Anyway, I think we should get back to the game of the year.
yeah,
okay, then.
So,
Okay, so
like, that's
and
a whole other topic we could bring up another day, but
yeah.
we probably
That was your fault.
should.
That was your fault, Ed. By the way.
We should get to the game of the
no,
year.
it
So,
was not
Yes,
my
it was.
fault.
Yes, it was. Dan, what you got to
No,
say?
you
Dan, no, no,
took
no,
that.
no. Ed, mute your mic. Don't.
all right, Ed. So you don't think Doom should have been in there because
No,
people were talking about Animal
no.
Crossing? Anyway,
I
I am giving my vote to Animal Crossing. I think in a year that, or Animal Crossing just happened to come out at the perfect time. Um, that's when COVID first struck. People were going into quarantine, and it was something that made people happy. They are giving this game continuous updates. It's bringing people back every month, like me. I think overall, it's just a game that doesn't have any issues, and I think it's brought in a lot of people to gaming that hasn't. Um, I was tossed up between this and Ghost of Tsushima because Ghost of Tsushima is really the only other game that blew me away out of this category. But I think overall, Animal Crossing will and should take it.
and I would say I own all 6 games on here, and I have played all 6 games. I would give it to Animal Crossing New Horizon because of not only are the updates and people still continue to play it and podcasts about it and like really have talks. They have really been doing a lot. Joe Biden did something electoral in this for a game that you wouldn't even expect or anything. The reason I said I would take Doom Eternal out is because not enough people played it and everything, and it came out when Animal Crossing came out, so that might be a thing. And I'm just saying people are now just playing this on Game Pass. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a great game for the time that it came out. Ghost of Tsushima is a great game that came out, but Paper Mario also is a great game that people had to balance and stuff. The Last of Us Part Two, people people brought it to show that their support for Naughty Dog against the haters and naysayers and the leakers and all the people who were jumping on some of the actors and stuff and stuff. It's a well made game. It deserves to be on this list. Hades, like, it's the Dead Cells of this year. Like, Dead Cells was early access on PC. Not many people played it or heard of it. I is my assumption, but it hit Nintendo Switch. Bam! Look on how popular and how good it was. And when Hate and Dead Cells came out for PS4 and Switch and even Xbox, they were surprised on how well it sold on Switch. People paid the extra money to get that game physically. That's crazy. So, but out of this list, it has to be Animal Crossing. It's going to get snubbed because of The Last of Us Part Two, but I feel like Animal Crossing deserves Game of the Year. And 16 million sales out of all the six
It's up
games
to
that's on
20.
here is up to 20 out of
Yeah,
all
I think it's
five.
22.
Uh,
22 million.
out
Look
of
that
all
up.
six, yeah, of all the six of this games, sell because number wise, Animal Crossing decimated all five of these in sales. I
I
think if you,
I
I think
agree.
if you add all of them, add them all of up for sales, they would even touch Animal Crossing.
I agree. But no, I mean, I can't fault that. As a matter of fact, I was going to say myself that Animal Crossings will probably win Game of the Year, and if it doesn't, it will get snubbed by The Last of Us Part Two,
Hmm.
or even inched out by Final Fantasy VII Remake. Uh,
Yeah,
Now, I am a cheerleader for Ghost of Tsushima, but I still don't have a copy of the game, so everything I've been basing my opinions on about that game is based off of what I've seen, and it looks
and
like
I and I finished it. So That's why I said on my TL that people were showing the pictures because it was beautiful. Paper Mario, people were showing more of that
Now I don't.
and love Paper Mario.
Now I don't understand why Doom Eternal's on the list, given that it just got canceled for Switch.
The physical version got canceled,
Oh,
so they
oh,
did.
so
Digital still being
digital
released.
still being
Yeah,
released. Okay, okay, but yeah, but yeah, I feel like Animal Crossing is probably going to take this one home, just because, and let's look at it this way, like Nintendo released this game at the perfect time.
Hmm.
The narrative alone says it all. Nintendo releases game in a perfect time. Like we had to isolate ourselves. We had to basically stop seeing our friends on a daily basis like we used to and stuff like that. And Animal Crossing was one of those games that actually pulled a lot of people out of depression and everything. As a matter of fact, I think we talked about in the Crossroads when we were talking about the Suicide Prevention Day that
hmm
we mentioned. Animal Crossing was a game that blazed trails for stuff like this. It's a great game. As much as I love The Last of Us and that franchise, The Last of Us Part Two, Last of Us Part Two, like in my opinion, probably gets the vote personally. Because this is a game the developers didn't feel like making. When The Last of Us One, when they wrapped The Last of Us One, Druckmann himself said, "There's no reason to make a sequel." We bothered him to death and forced him and Naughty Dog to go back in and make a sequel. Whatever we got in The Last of Us Two is probably a fan letter to the is probably a fan letter to the a letter to the fans, basically. You know,
Hmm.
and that
I oh, go ahead.
no no
Go ahead. My
I
fault.
was no I was just about to say that's my take on everything.
I will say this from a first party standpoint, Nintendo pretty much killed it once again because they're the only company, first party wise, that released a lot of games this year. Tokyo Mirage Session, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Animal Crossing, Xenoblade Chronicles DE, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Um,
Well, a lot of what Nintendo released this year were ports. There
mhm.
wasn't a lot of new games.
Clubhouse.
You
They only
know,
did two
Paper
port. They only
Mario, Animal Crossing, and yeah,
no Paper
Club.
Mario's not a port.
No, I'm saying new
He said
games
new
was
games.
Animal Crossing,
Animal
um,
Crossing,
Paper
Clubhouse Games,
Mario,
Paper Mario, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Empire, um,
Remedy.
uh,
So, by the way, Animal Crossing sold 26.04 million copies this year.
that's a one third.
26 million.
That's one third of the Switch sales base. And don't
That's
forget, that's
crazy.
$60. That's
And I don't understand it because I tried to play the original Animal Crossing way back in the day
on,
when it was
on
new.
GameCube.
I just don't get it.
I love it on GameCube. No,
This was the
uh,
first one I played.
I couldn't given the it's one of those things where kind of like when something puts a bad taste in your mouth, it takes you a while to go back to it. And I'm still in that phase.
hello, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Wait, GTA 3 put a bad taste in your mouth?
Oh yes, the jank in that game.
For a
Oh, that
lot
was the game that brought me into the
for a
series.
lot of people for a lot of people GTA 4 was the game that put the bad taste in their mouth. And
Oh,
and 5
it was
had to redeem it.
it was three for me.
Okay.
I
Vice
goodness, because
City put a
Vice
bad
City.
taste in my mouth.
Yeah, Vice City left a bad taste in my mouth because they tried to get me on nostalgia because I grew up in the 80s.
I did too.
I grew up in
Now,
the 80s.
the soundtrack for Vice City and GTA 3, bomb. I'll give them that for the because that's how I found like Royce 59 and like listen to the rap station on GTA 3. I love that. The gameplay and stuff, good googly moogly. That's when you definitely need a code to beat that game. Because that game was jank. So, uh, but everybody, that has been our discussion about the Game Awards, the nominations. We have had laughs, some disagreements, and we also talked about some good snacks. But that is it. We're gonna see who wins, who loses. We'll probably do a follow up on that episode to see what we thought about the show. Probably talk about the trailers and everything. LeBron, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media at Exodus803. That's EXODUS 803. That's also my Twitch handle. Thank you for guys for coming to watch the streams today on Twitch. Yeah, that's also my gamer tag. So you can find me practically anywhere that I play video games under that moniker.
Yes. Dan, where can we find you?
Just at Twitter at DCDM99.
And you can see him on Nintendo Pop Block. When he's there. You can find me on Twitter at that Virtual Code. You can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, other podcast apps. You can check out Boss Rush Podcast here on Boss Rush Games on our Twitter feed and YouTube page. Check out Recap. The first episode is out there where me and LeRon talk about Ghost of the Shell. We got some more that's coming out. I cannot wait for the Event Horizon episode. That's gonna be amazing. You guys can check out the latest 1v1. Celeste interviews me for this one, so you guys can hear more of my story and everything. Check out, like I said, Arsenal X, Crossroads, Nintendo Power Block, and more. Trash Talk, Land Party, and a whole bunch on our YouTube page and on different sites of Boss Rush Games. So with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Sorry about that. I can't believe I did that. Have a great Thanksgiving. I went through this whole episode without hitting the mic, so I was happy. Have a great Thanksgiving. We here at Boss Rush Games, we want you guys to have a safe one. If you guys have a stay-at-home order or shutdown order, please follow the what they have in place. Please do wear your mask. Be safe. Go out and get the essentials that you need. I'm telling you right now, getting graham crackers and M&Ms are not essential compared to getting Band-Aids and stuff. So don't just be out there because you don't want to be in the house. Don't take photos of a cat so you can send it to a certain store going in so you can get out the house. That's not essential. Don't do that. Be safe. Have a great Thanksgiving. Play games. As always, be better to one another. And yeah, whatever you guys, if you follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Podcast, I want to see what your snacks are, your Thanksgiving meal, or if you're playing football or whatever game that you're gaming on. I would love, and we will all love to see it.
Okay, Ed. I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a disclaimer right now. I'm just gonna have someone send me their pictures, and I'm gonna send them to you because I'm going to be eating.
Thank you. And also, everybody, we are going to be on break for all of our shows. Are you guys on break for Crossroads on Tuesday?
We are. We are.
Okay, so everybody's on break next week, so please enjoy it. We are going to be enjoying gaming, laughing, and talking and having fun. They'll probably get on me about some crazy mess that I say, but hey, I'm used to it by this time. With that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend, and as always, let's play games and be better to one another. And we'll see you next time on Boss Rush Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye, guys.